Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Smithtown Live, and today we're at Long Island Cares with Danielle. And
so we're here with Paul. Paul, thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
You know, when Jim and I go out to all businesses around our town, we always hear about Long Island Cares and how everybody's volunteering for Long Island Cares. So we're really excited to be here, and we look forward to this great interview.
Thank you. Tell us about Long Island Cares and what do you guys do here?
Well, Long Island Cares is the regional food bank for Nassau and Suffolk County. And what we do is we distribute close to 8 million pounds of food, both perishable and non-perishable, every year to approximately 350 member agencies.
Wow.
So we're talking about the local food pantries, the soup kitchens, daycare programs, adult daycare centers, and in addition to that, we operate 3 of our own food pantries in various communities here on the island. So our job is to bring the food in, both perishable, non-perishable. A lot of it, the majority of it is healthy food, low in fat, low in sugar, high in fiber, and then we send that out. We deliver it to 350 organizations who order it every week from the regional food bank. And in addition to the distribution of food, we also provide a series of direct service programs that help people find employment. We provide a lot of community education to the schools about the issue of hunger and food insecurity here in the region. So in a nutshell, that's basically what we do.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah, it is.
That is a lot. Okay.
So Long Island Cares is the oldest food
bank
in Long Island.
Correct.
It started in the 80s. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
When Harry Chapin, the late singer-songwriter, who had a passion about ending hunger, both on a international scale, on a national level, then certainly turned his attention to where he was living at the time, which was Long Island, lived in Huntington Bay. He founded the organization in 1980. We were the first food bank on Long Island. There are other organizations that are food banks and do similar work. But we were the third food bank in all of New York State, only surpassed by Albany and Rochester, who were out doing this longer than us. So that's where our roots are, with one person who surrounded himself by excellent people and was able to raise the money and get political leaders and legislators involved in the cause and the mission. And they turned the key in 1980 on Long Island Cares. When it first started, it wasn't here in Hauppauge. It was actually on the grounds of Pilgrim Psychiatric Center in Brentwood.
Oh, wow.
Because Harry received a donation of property from the governor at the time. Was able to raise, I believe it was $75,000, $25,000 from New York State, $25,000 each from Nassau and Suffolk. State gave him 2 buildings on the grounds of Pilgrim, and the food bank was born.
And then you moved here.
We moved here, I think, about 15 years ago. In 2008, when I joined as the CEO, the board had just finished a very successful capital campaign. It was close to $4 million.
Wow.
And they were able, a week before I started, to pay off the building. And when you walk into a 35,000 square foot building such as ours, in the middle of the largest industrial park in the Northeast, in a great town, because Supervisor Werheim knows my fondness for Smithtown, gave us a lot of opportunity, not having to pay a mortgage. We certainly don't pay property taxes because we're tax exempt, but not having to pay a mortgage gave us the freedom to do so many things with the organization. We were able to expand from 35 staff people to today, where we're 50. The budget in 2008 was $8 million. It's now close to $16 million. So Long Island has been incredibly supportive toward this organization since the day we opened. And here we are 39 years later. They continue to support us very generously.
Wow, well, as do you. You guys support everybody here out on Long Island. So.
Well, you know, it's interesting, Danielle, because when Harry founded the organization in 1980, it was estimated that there were 50,000 Long Islanders who were struggling with hunger and food insecurity.
Wow.
Fast forward 39 years later, there are 272,000 people who are struggling in this region with hunger, including 77,000 children.
Wow. Gave me chills.
Yeah. So those numbers are like hard to imagine. How do people get involved? How can people help you?
Well, there's a lot of ways that the community can get involved and remain involved as they have over these years. First and foremost is the opportunity for people to volunteer, to come down here to Hop Hog or to go visit one of our 3 satellites, which are located in Freeport, Lindenhurst, and Huntington Station, and volunteer your time. Help provide the food to the people that need it, meet with the people who come to visit us to find out exactly why they're coming, how we could help them get out of the cycle of poverty or get out of the cycle of food insecurity. You know, certainly people can volunteer with us at special events, and we do a number of events every year. The public, you know, anyone living on Long Island, including organized groups like the Girl Scouts, the Rotary, other groups like that, civic associations, can sponsor a food drive to benefit Long Island Cares. And, you know, we provide you with the collection boxes, we provide you with the posters, we help promote it through social media. So hosting food drives, coming down and donating your time, attending one of our special events, and as I said, we have many coming up this year. And also, you know, making a donation. And making a donation to Long Island Cares in any amount that you're comfortable with can be done in numerous ways. First of all, you can walk in here any day, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 4:30, and volunteer or make a donation. You can donate online through our website, or you can text your donation. And so we make it pretty easy for people to, you know, do what we're, you know, to support us. Usually our text donation program is tied to a special event.
Okay.
So if we're doing, let's say, a community concert somewhere, we'll have a special number for that so people in the audience can donate. We have a project coming up later this month in April. We're working with the Hampton Jitney. And you've seen the bus go back and forth from Manhattan to Montauk. For about 8 weeks, starting, I believe, April 15th, if I'm not mistaken, the Hampton Jitney is going to be promoting Long Island Cares.
Oh, that's great.
So the message of that between Manhattan and Montauk,
huge.
There are 272,000 people that need your help. Text to donate.
Okay.
Pull over first and then text to donate.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to support us. And, you know, look, of our entire budget, the $16 million, about 53% of it comes from the community. Doesn't come from government, doesn't come from corporations. It comes from Long Islanders and people who have been fans of Harry Chapin for, you know, 40 years, who move off of Long Island, but yet every year remember Long Island Cares.
Right.
And so, you know, it's very important to us that we continue to make sure that Harry's legacy is intact and always expanding.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. So you said you had some really great volunteers that spend their days here, 4 days, 5 days a week, all day. They're teachers.
The super group.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah, you know, people, as I said, people can volunteer any way they like to. If you like to do special events, you know, you want to volunteer at our golf outing or our annual gala, great, come on down. You want to volunteer in the warehouse, great, come on down. We're doing a food drive outside your local supermarket, and that's what you like to do, come on down. We try, you know, we have volunteers who are here every day, as I mentioned, the super volunteers, mostly retired people who have just, you know, come here, give us 20, 30 hours a week. We treat them as if they're our staff. If we're having lunch, they're having lunch. If we're honoring staff, they're part of that honor. You'll see them through the warehouse. They wear these beige vests with their name on it. Those are the super group. Those are people that give you a lot of time.
It seems very warm and welcoming in here. You guys seem to have a really nice connection with one another.
Thank you, Danielle. That's probably the thing that I'm most proudest of, is the culture here.
Yeah.
We're only 50 people. I know to some people that's a lot, 50 people. No, we're small enough so that everybody knows each other's name. We know a lot about each other. If one of our staff is sick, it affects us all. If one of our staff is celebrating a birthday, we celebrate with them. This is really, in my opinion, one of the best places for people to work on Long Island, and it's because of the culture we have. And it's not just the staff and administration, it's our board of directors as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
From the top down, everybody. Yeah.
I think that's something important to take away in any business. The way you treat your all the people that are helping the organization is how your organization is going to run.
Absolutely. And that trickles down to the way our staff work with the 350 organizations that we support. We purchase about 70% of the food that we distribute. We purchase it through our state contract with the Department of Health, which is about $2.1 million. We have a contract with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a contract with Suffolk and Nassau County that allows us to purchase, as I said, 70% of the food. Most people think, if you donate to them, that's how they get their food.
That's what I was thinking as I was going down the aisles. How did you guys obtain all this food?
Yeah, most of it is purchased out on the open market, competitive pricing. Only 30% of the food we distribute comes from food drives, store donations, and a whole retail donation program that we have. And it's not just food. It's food, of course, personal care products, household supplies, pet food. Pet food.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of pet food.
Anything that people need. If our agencies need baby formula and we don't have it, we buy it. If they need diapers, we don't have it on donation, we'll buy it. With the exception of pet food, we really don't buy pet food. For the last 10 years, we have distributed 1.5 million pounds of pet food, all of it donated from the pet industry.
Wow.
So you're looking at stores like Petco, PetSmart, all of the VCA animal hospitals on Long Island. They all have food drives to support us. That's one of our benchmark programs, Baxter's Pet Pantry.
Okay.
We've been able to distribute pet food through 220 of our member agencies. 1.5 million pounds of pet food. The only time we purchase pet food is if one of the people who need the food has a pet with special needs and they can't eat commercial food, and the pet's on a restricted diet, or they need some kind of compound supplements, we'll go buy them.
Wow.
Nothing we won't do for those pets.
That's great. So how do local businesses get involved? Do they do more fundraising, or should they do more food driving? That's
a great question. One of the things that I've heard over the years from corporate leaders on Long Island in reference to Harry Chapin, Harry believed that the success of this organization will rest with the corporate community. Okay. They have to embrace the mission. They have to embrace what we're doing and provide annual donations to the organization.
Yeah.
Yes, and in turn, we'll name things after them. We'll celebrate the donation. We'll honor them. He was right. We have an incredible relationship with so many corporations and businesses here on Long Island. If I just think at the top, the amount of food and support that we get from Stop and Shop and from ShopRite, the generosity of the financial institutions, whether it's Bank of America or Island Federal Credit Union, that are annual donors to our program. The business community, just being in the Hop Hog Industrial Park, we're surrounded by 55,000 employees. Something like 1,600 different corporations do business in this park. As members of the Hop Hog Industrial Association, the HIALI, they've been sponsoring for decades now an annual summer food drive where we get anywhere between 150 and 200 businesses who are located here in the park hosting food drives or making cash donations. And a lot of it is virtual food drives where you can literally go online to Amazon, put in Long Island Cares, and the menu will come up with all the food that you can purchase.
Okay.
And so
Things that you need.
yeah, so instead of going to the supermarket and buying us a case of tuna fish or a case of macaroni and cheese, you can buy it from Amazon. Within 72 hours, the food is here in the warehouse. And so the virtual food drives have become very successful. But the partnership with the HIA, our involvement with the Long Island Association, as I mentioned, our 3 satellite locations where each of them are members of the local Chamber of Commerce. So we're very active in the local business community. But the story I'll finish about Harry is that people would say, if we went to an event, a luncheon, a dinner, and we knew Harry Chapin was there, we knew 2 things. One, he was going to sing, and number 2, he was going to hit us up for money. And people would tell me stories about going to a dinner and Harry approaching them and grabbing them by the shoulder or the collar and saying, I need your help. There's too many people here that are struggling. You could make the difference. And they just wrote checks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little different. I don't grab anyone by the collar, but
Do you sing?
I do the same. Yes, I do. And I do the same in working with our corporations and recognizing what they do. And it's not only corporations, it's government. And I can tell you that since day one, Ed Werheim has been an incredible friend to this organization. He is the first supervisor in the town that has come here to visit us.
Wow.
Wow.
He's been here, in fact, 2 times already.
Yeah.
He's working on some projects for us right now in terms of our property and, taxes and things like that. So he's been great. We're very fortunate on Long Island.
Jim and I go to a lot of community events.
Okay.
And he's always there at every
Yeah.
single one. And
Yep.
he's so personable, and we
Yep.
really enjoy. Yeah.
He gets it, and so does his staff. A lot of the people who work right now for the town, and he's brought them here. They're really just good friends.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming.
We know you're very busy and you have a couple of other appointments
Yeah,
to be
too.
to and whatnot, but
No, it's
we
great.
really appreciate you telling your story about this whole place, and we hope to come back and do another.
I hope you do too.
Yes.
I think people in the town of Smithtown should know, and I'm sure many of them do know, what rich resources we have in the town.
Yeah.
Not just non-profit, for-profit as
Well,
well.
that's part of Smithtown
Yeah.
Live, is to expose what
Highlight those.
everybody,
Yeah.
what we have in the town. Yeah.
And it's going to get better.
Yeah.
I know it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, a pleasure.
All right.
Anytime. Door's always open.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Come on back.